I'm the youngest champion ever in the history of the sport. My record would last for immortality. It would never be broken.
Why is it so important for you to be immortal, to have a record that you feel nobody will ever break?
Because I want to live forever.
Did he ever hit you with anything?
He threw some punching glass in me, but even if they hit that connect, I refuse to get hurt. I refuse to get knocked down. I refuse to lose. There's no way in the world I was going to go out this ring walking. I had to be carried out. I had to be dead. There's no way I was going to leave this ring alive.
It looked early in the second round that he had already recognized your power and that he was starting to hold on and just survive even as early as that.
Well, I don't know about that. If that was so, that was his problem. I was coming to destroy and win the heavyweight championship of the world, which I done. And I like to dedicate my fight to my great guardian, Cus D'Amato. And I'm sure he's up there and he's looking and he's talking to all the great fighters and saying his boy did it.
And smiling, that's right.
I'm not a creator. What I do is discover and uncover. And when I uncover, the boys themselves discover qualities in themselves that didn't even know they had. You get hit, bang, you get excited and your head comes up your hands. When you get hit, that's when you gotta be calm.
When I met Cus, even though I was a street kid and I was come with like a tough kid, I never had an ego. I was never really jealous of anybody. I never really thought much of myself. But when I met Cus and I started talking to Cus, he made me believe that I was a god. So let me tell you something. All the prophets, all the gods you ever know about, if they had a son, their son didn't beat my fighter. You know why? Because he's my fighter.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah, he was crazy. A lot of his fighting left him because he's so overbearing. He's so perfected. And if you're allowed to stay, you have to be crazy too to be with this man. Because I wanted to be the best so bad.
Yeah.
And only he could do it. No one could inspire me like him. I'm one of those guys. I'm a dark person. I come from a dark world. So nobody, especially a white motherfucker, no one could inspire me like him. He inspired me to be better than what I was. If I was Mike Tyson, badass motherfucker from Brownsville, Brooklyn, I still wouldn't have made it. Because that was just Brownsville, Brooklyn. He made me believe I was the best fighter the world ever produced.
I was gonna rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
I do a great deal of talking, trying to find out what kind of a person he is. And I know that a person, for example, we are today a sum total of what we've been. Every act and every deed we've had makes us what we are today, good or bad, you know. So in his case and other cases, what I do is talk and try to find out how many layers I have to peel off of experiences, detrimental and otherwise, till I get down to the man himself. And then expose that so not only I see, but he can see it.
It's just really interesting. I used to look at it, think about this young kid from Brooklyn, New York, comes to Cus D'Amato at 13, 12, you know, and all of a sudden, I have a low self-esteem. This guy gives me this big fucking ego. You know what I mean? I live by the rules of that ego, and I've accomplished so much.
And a dominator ego. Yeah. Right? You're set to
all about
confidence.
Destroying people.
Yeah.
Just anybody, you could be a lawyer, 200 pounds, I'm staring you down. It was a weird environment growing up that way.
She shouldn't believe that at all, because know why? Because after I've kicked Stewart ass and give him a slow beating, nearly death, I'm going to take whoever to win after that, the Holyfield Douglas fight, and then regain my title, and hopefully I can fight Ray the Ruddock or this other guy, George Foreman, before he die of, rigor mortis.
I'm from Brownsville, Brooklyn. I'm not afraid of nobody. In the ring or out of the ring, they got a gun or a knife, and I'll show him that too.
Mike, you're jumping around. You seem to be a little anxious.
I'm just ready to get it on and crush this guy's skull. And show the real world champion is the best fighter in the era.
What did you think in that first round when he was moving, trying to do an Ali with his left?
I knew when I came to this fight, I was the best fighter in the world. Now, man, live that can beat me.
What broke him down? Was it just
constantly body punches? When I was hitting him with body punches, I heard him, actually, he was crying in there, making woman gestures like, I can't mind it, but I knew that he was breaking down soon.
You're saying that Biggs was crying when you hit him?
Yes.
When did that happen?
And perhaps the fourth round on. I tell you right now, for you to answer that question, you sound egotistical. I don't care what you say, but it's a fact. You know what I mean?
how dare them even challenge me, these fighters, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? With their primitive boxing skills, you know what I mean? They're as good as dead.
Cus had also done it on the past before, right? Like, Cus knew how to develop people, right? He had a reputation for developing people.
Absolutely.
Did you ever see anybody that he worked with that they just couldn't take it and they quit working with Cus? Like, some people just emotionally couldn't handle that kind of pressure.
No, Cus knows when to put the gas on, when to put the brakes on. You know, that's what a teacher does. He's a teacher. We all teach everyone. All of us teach everyone. We're all teachers and students. This world is one big school, and we're the students of this world.
So he knew timing, and he knew when to motivate and when not to motivate.
Absolutely.
Okay.
He knows the mind is always hungry. And the mind wants to do good, but we get so many negative thoughts in our mind, it's almost overwhelming to be positive. Once I talked to Cus, and Cus talked to me over and over again, over and over again, every night for hours and hours. When I was a young kid, when I was 13 and 14, I used to never have to worry about nobody ever bullying me again. I knew that would never happen again. Cause I knew I would fucking kill them if they fucked with me.
When I first met Mike, or I first saw Mike, I saw him in the ring with Bobby Stewart, the former boxer. And though he didn't have skill, he had that quality of determination. And he just kept coming, though he got hit some good right hands on a jaw. I mean, Bob Stewart's a pretty good puncher. But he absorbed them, just kept coming. And that alone told me what I needed to know about him. That he had the persistence and determination, and the rest was my belief that he could learn.
Is Cus the missing link in your life at the moment?
I don't know if I say missing link. I'm just, it was just a very close entity to me. It's very close to me. And we set out a lot of dreams together. You know, we talked in the middle of nights. Many times we talked about what we were going to do and who we would be. I remember being 15. He talked to me about how I was going to knock Larry Holmes out. Larry Holmes was a champion, and he talked to me about how we were going to knock Holmes out. And he used to always try to get me to go down there and spar with Larry Holmes. Yeah, I didn't believe in it, but he had so much confidence in me. I didn't believe I could go in the gym and probably knock Holmes down and knock him out and get that $100,000. At the time, he was paying me $100,000 for to knock him out. And I was only 15, but he said, you got to have the confidence and belief. If you could believe it, you can do it. You can punch hard enough, you can do it. You got to believe it. And he always told me, he said, if you believed it, you had the confidence, I'll let you fight for the title right now. 15, he said, I'll let you fight right, only because you have all the tools, but if you believed it in your heart, I will let you fight tomorrow for the title.
You had the ingredients, but at this stage, did you believe
didn't have the confidence? And I thought he was totally out of his mind. But I realized that it's not the age of a child, you know what I mean, that makes him a man. It's his actions that makes him a man. And if he believed, he could accomplish it.
He didn't let me box. He would just talk to me for like 2 or 3 weeks about fighting and the psychology of fighting and what fighting was truly about. Fighting wasn't nothing physical, it was all spiritual. And he was saying, if you don't have the spiritual warrior in you, you'll never be a good fighter. I don't care how big or strong you are. And he explained that to me. As time was going on, this guy he kept saying these great things about it. So this guy, I didn't know if this guy was queer. He just kept saying great things. Man, he said, man, you're a great fighter. He just kept saying, you're the greatest. You do splendid. You look great. You're looking better. He just kept giving me compliments about everything I did. So what's wrong with this guy? I never had the slightest idea he was building up my confidence. But as time went on, I understood what he was doing. As I became an adult, I understood he was building up my confidence. And I started believing in this old man. I stopped being a little thief. I used to go back to New York and rob people, then come back upstate and hide out. Then I stopped doing all that. I changed my whole life. I said, I'm gonna stick to this boxing shit. I turned my whole life over to boxing. I turned into a complete animal. I turned into a disciplinarian. This guy had me clean my room. This guy brainwashed me so much that if he told me to bite, I'd bite. If he told me anything, I was like his dog. He broke me down. He broke me down and rebuilt me. I was just like a total different person.
And then, like I say, about when you say primitive style, nobody could beat me. Holyfield, Williams, you bring them all. If I was them, their best bet to do, they should have just came to the fight with their note and pad and take lessons.
There's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to take Razor Ruddock out. You know what I mean? It's good that he shows his heart that he's a great fighter and he want to take me. But I guarantee you the slaughter even be more slower.
If you're trying to intimidate me in any way whatsoever, don't you know that doesn't work? Didn't you try it the first time?
How dare you talk to me like that? You should get up and kneel to me now, and I'll spare you the night of the 28th.
I thought to say, you come in and you come ready. You understand? Because I'm going to come ready. Okay.
I don't know why you talk to me like that when you know I'll kill you for it.
Mike Tyson is Mike Tyson. He's an ignorant little kid, you know what I mean? And he's going to be like that. I don't want to bring myself down to his level, so I don't really even want to cherish that thought. I'm going to go in there and we're going to fight, and that's the bottom line.
Oh, man, I can't wait till the 28th. I'm going to make you my girlfriend.
There's never any doubts in my mind because I'm the best in the world, even though a lot of you don't like to hear it. It's fact, I'm the best, you know what I mean? Sometimes I don't want to believe it myself, but it's the truth. I'm the best.
Up until him, was he the first person that believed in you the way that he did? Okay, yeah. Got it. The power of somebody believing you.
We all need mentors.
Talk about the love that you had for boxing. Were you in love with it at the beginning?
I was aware of my preeminence. I was aware of everything I was doing. I was aware that I could become famous and the world could listen to me, that I could be somebody and my ego could just suck all this up. Cus and all, we're all ego-driven. Listen, when I first met Cus, I thought they were living good, but he's living with his woman companion, and this is her house. All this stuff is hers. And he convinced us somewhere that we're gonna get a great champion. We gotta turn this into a training camp, because he's a fanatic fight. That's all he lived for, fighting. He said, let's change this Victorian House 14 run. Let's change this into a training camp. And then I came along. He was born in 2000. He was 1908. I'm born in 1966. So my life was changed in 1908. Isn't that true? Something you think about my life was changed in 1908. It was my destiny.
Mostly it's just changed my life because he helped me to deal with people. I know how to deal with people now. Before, I couldn't talk to people. I used to always want to be alone. And now I learned how to deal with anyone. I could talk to anyone, even about their problems.
Because when I first came there, I wanted to rob the place. That's my life. That's what I'm about. And this is a mansion, this old Victorian mansion. I said, wow. You know, I said, what can be in their drawers? You know, that's just how my mind thinks. Even now, I have millions of books, my mind still thinks that way. At that time, I didn't have any self-esteem, any character. And he would always say, look in the mirror, look how handsome you are. So I thought he was a homosexual. I thought he was hitting on me or something. But I don't know, he was just building my character, allowing me to love myself. The most successful people that ever lived in history are megalomaniacs, but they got a low self-esteem. They don't think much about themselves, but they think they're God on the other hand too. Those are the most successful people. They're always challenging that doubt, making that doubt inconceivable. That's not true, but they still believe it's doubt.
I mean, I think at some point you say he was my backbone.
He was more than that. He wouldn't let no one say anything negative about me. At any fight, if someone said something negative about me, he was the old man, he would attack them.
Literally?
Yeah, physically. He wouldn't let nobody allow any negativity to seek through my psyche. Everything was that I'm invincible, I'm a savage, I'm ferocious, and the smartest savage.
When I peeled these layers away on Mike Tyson, I found what I thought I'd find. A person of basically good character. A person who is capable of doing the things that are necessary to be done in order to be a great fighter or a champion of the world. When I recognized this, then my next job was to make him become aware of this thing, of these qualities, as well as I. Because unless he knew him as well as I did, it wouldn't help him very much. So I had to make him aware of it, and how I did that was by constantly bringing to his attention the different things when time as they developed, different things I bring to his attention, little incidents or whatever, which would tend to reveal himself, so to speak, to himself. And only by letting him know that he had these qualities and he had these abilities and potentials would enable him to get the real solid, deep down inner belief in himself. Because for a person to believe something with which that he could never back up, well, it's not stable enough. We have to give him a reason to believe in himself in order to believe in himself. And in the process of giving him the reason for him to believe in himself, he does, in fact, after a period of time, recognize these qualities do exist, and therefore he has reason to believe in himself.
Cus has helped me in aspects and believing in myself. There's no way you're going to make it in life, anything. Being a carpenter, being a marble collector, you have to believe in yourself. And most likely, a lot of people became famous and believed in themselves, and then mostly it was forced belief. It wasn't really true. It was just the idea that they believed in themselves. And now I believe in myself, and everything I believe in myself is true because I know I'm the best, and everybody else knows too.
Once you receive that that level of confidence, and it's practiced properly, it would surpass a genius. There's nothing more supreme than confidence. Confidence breeds success, and success breeds confidence. Applied properly, you're inconquerable. You have to believe in yourself before you believe in anything else. God, you have to believe in you. Once you believe in you and have a relationship with you, there's nothing that you can't do. That's just what it is. That's just the way the universe made it. And from being with Cus, Cus is very delusional. You know, that's like myself.
What do you mean by that, delusional? Is that
when
what you
I say
mean?
delusional, I say delusional in a magnificent way.
Yeah.
Delusional is my way of life. I always think about war and money and destiny. And so in my mind, I say, listen, the God of war, why the God of war, he made love with them, and I'm a descendant of them. My ego tells me that I'm a descendant of greatness, and it has nothing to do with my parents and my family or nothing. They were just a vessel, and I'm very special, you know. But then when I'm around people, I always have to describe myself as, hey guys, how you doing? But when I'm alone, I think I'm a monk. I think I'm Alexander the Great. I got thousands of people following me, and I'm raising hell. Stop right there, stop right there. That's what they want you to say. They don't want you to talk about yourself. They want you to believe that you're a dumb nigga from Africa and you're a monkey. They want you to believe that. They don't want you to believe that they don't want you to believe that you're divinely guided. They don't want you to believe that, because once you believe that, then that's what's going to happen.
And when you believe that, people don't like this.
No.
People don't like that.
No, that's not true. Listen, they love it. They just don't got the balls to be that way.
Yeah.
They wish they were you, but that's why they say that's not nice, because that's what they were. That's what they were limited to. So they want you to be limited, but there's nothing personal. They just want you to be in that situation.
Yeah.
You love company. They're successful, but just they're feeling successful. You know what I mean? They're successful at the ceiling. You want to break through the ceiling and go to the stars, the universe, the galaxies.
It comes more like to how you perceive yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In certain circumstances. You know, like, for instance, if I thought that I could be Mike Tyson, tough, strong black kid from Brownsville, Brooklyn, I can go and beat these experienced fighters that's been national or world champions since they were kids and stuff in the amateurs, and I can just go out here with my little 25 or 30 amateur fights and compete with these guys and become great in the heavyweight professional ranks too. But no, I had to look at myself greater than I actually was and believe that I was greater than I actually was. It's somewhat of a cantankerous warlord, a giant. I'm thinking that any gladiator could ever imagine. I could take on Achilles or Alexander the Great. Being that person, I'm invincible. Being Mike Tyson, tough guy from Brooklyn, no, I'm just a black guy that's gonna get beat eventually.
Impossible is nothing to somebody that tries. Everything that someone said was impossible has happened. Our limitations create impossible.
Any opponents you faced that had a lot of skills but didn't have the discipline that they fizzled out, like even at 14 years old, were you kind of like...
The reason why they didn't have the discipline because they allow their mind to take over and say you can never beat him. It's not the physical aspects, it's emotionally and psychologically. I put the impression that I'm God on them. I knew I was going to be successful. I knew everything was going to go right. I knew it. It was in my blood. I was only a kid, but I said I want to be like that guy. And it just started working.
Not a personal pride, which is what he builds up. He builds up his pride, he builds up the level of performance to be consistent with the pride that he feels in himself. And also the fact that these great fighters of the past, who he admires so much, and I tell them that there's no reason why he can't be even greater than those people. Because if his interest allows, and his will and ambition and his dedication is great, this is very possible. I have never seen a fighter who can make the adjustment on so little, so rapidly, and do so much of it, and develop the talent so greatly. I have never seen a fighter like that.
Don't you want to be champion? You could be champion of the world. And I didn't pay no attention to it. He said, really? You could be champion of the world. You could devastate the world. No man could take what you do. You just gotta believe it. I looked at this guy, and then I started thinking. I said, really? I said, this guy's really crazy. That's what I said, this guy's crazy. He said, you do what I tell you to do, and if it doesn't work, then you could leave. So I said, okay, bet. So I did everything he told me to do, and I won.
To me, he's my boy. He's with me. I often say to him, you know, I owe you a lot, and he doesn't know what I mean, but I'm going to tell him now what I mean. If he weren't here, I probably wouldn't be alive today. The fact that he is here and doing what he's doing, and doing as well as he's doing, and improving as he has, gives me the motivation and interest to stay alive. Because I believe that a person dies when they no longer wants to live. But I have a reason, Mike, and it gives me the motivation. I will stay alive, and I will watch him become a success. Because I will not leave until that happens.
What's the possibility of you being a 7 Mile, from 7 Mile, now you here? Now what's that? What's the percentage of that? That's what I think. How do a guy in 7 Miles get out here? How do you get out here and you don't got shit? And you're destitute?
Yeah.
Know how did it happen? Because it's ordained by the universe.
Did you ever stop and think like, man, how lucky am I that I ran into that man?
No. He said he summons me.
He summoned you. I mean, I don't know if I believe you could summon someone, but goddamn, that seems like it's real.
Yeah.
That seems like it's real.
I don't know. I think we'll do it.